Hello, welcome to the first panel of the convention. Obviously, in case anyone doesn't know, our first guest is Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime and Ironhide from Transformers. Now, as per your schedule, Mr. Cullen's only available for 2 hours today, and only today, unfortunately. So we're going to start off with basically a question and answer session from you folks. We're sorry that we don't have it mic'd. If it becomes a problem, we can pull one of these down, but it's a pretty small room, so I think we could just speak up and be happy like. After that, or depending on how that goes, we're going to start an autograph and photograph line, and what that's going to do is we're just going to basically just try to form a nice little happy line right here, and have your autograph card punched by Dennis Davidson in the back there. Wait, that's Dennis. Basically, Mr. Cullen's free to sign anything but packaging from the original Optimus Prime and Ironhide, because they are in the charity auction, okay? So please don't ask him to do that. Are there any questions while I'm here? Everyone clear on this? So basically, I think, stand up please and ask. All right, no one's going to stand up and ask. So I guess what you should do is, if you have a question, please raise your hand. Peter will be pointing to you. Stand up, speak clearly, loudly for him, and have fun.
Testing 1, 2.
So go ahead.
Don't be afraid to ask. Yes, sir. It's a real pleasure.
How surprised were you by all this? Being asked to come to such a event?
Honestly, very surprised.
It's about a decade ago. Do you think anyone really remembers?
1984, and when I first auditioned for the role of Optimus Prime, I had no idea. I'd never seen anything quite the likes of it. And, it was an interesting audition, although I had my own ideas as what I wanted to do based on the character. I saw something really exciting happening. And to answer any other questions along that line, I gave the character what I wanted to do as I thought a hero should be, a superhero, in other words. I wanted that strength, but I wanted compassion, and I wanted the sensitivity at the same time. I wanted a role that people could associate with in real life, you know. And that was a pretty big stretch, going from 18-wheeler to a sensitive issue. Yes, sir.
I have 2 questions. First of all, were you disappointed when they took off his character in the movie?
I was shocked. It hurt. Gasping for breath. Oh. But I only had to do it once.
And have you done any voice acting since then?
I do other characters. I'm Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. Hello. I'm still making an ass of myself. And I've created other sounds for feature films. I did King Kong, and I was the Predator. The Predator and the Predator.
Oh, cool.
If you remember any of that, from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why you up one big ugly sucker? That was the guy that went. This is off the beaten track, but it was odd. I had finished King Kong, and King Kong was a lot of blood-throat action. He went home after doing 4 days of all the reels of King Kong Lives, and he's not happy about it. I start coughing up blood, and I was determined not to do any of those monster sounds ever again. And I got a call from 20th Century for Schwarzenegger's Predator. And they wanted me to come up with a voice for the Predator, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it, but they insisted that I come in and come in and come in. So I went in and I looked at the screening, and they were very tight about it. They didn't want to show it. And I said, how can I do a voice unless I know what it looks like? Well, he didn't have a look. It was a silver streak you saw every now and then. And at the end of the film, of course, he takes off that big mask, and there was a monster there. As a kid, I remember on the beach, horseshoe crabs turned upside down. And in the heat of the sun, there'd be bubblies coming out of their little legs. And if you remember the Predator, he had these tentacles around his mouth. And the bubbles were breaking, and it would be that sound. It was that... I said, this will be easy. Yeah, I'll do this. So I gave it to them, and they brought this big mic down, and I said, get it closer and closer. And they shot the first sequence at me, and it was kind of mysterious. Schwarzenegger was looking up, what the hell is that? And so I just hit it with that. They looked around like this. Mother, what these things? So that's how that came about, and I saved my voice. Made $125. That was off the beaten track, wasn't it? Sorry. Yes, sir.
I would like to thank you for a job and congratulate you for a job well done.
Thanks, Arnie.
And I was wondering how long it takes to come up with these different voices.
I base all my vocal characterizations based on picture. I've done a lot of characters, probably over 200. And when they give me a character, some of them are really weird looking, and I look at their physical structure. If they have a small diaphragm and a small neck, well, I squeeze the voice. If they're big, like Ironhide is big, you know, I get down into grizzly type characters. Oh, come on now, man, what you doing here? Not now, Ironhide. Oh, come on, Prime, I want to kick some butt. Ironhide, don't stand so close. You smell. You smell like old WD-40. Change your oil. But some characters require a little imagination. Artists are, as you well know, very imaginative, and they come up with some tremendous sketches. And in cartoons that are more based on animals and stuff, you have a lot of fun coming up with a voice that might be just basic or inventive, depending upon how they move and what they look like. I had a character in, I think it was the Rescue Rangers. I think it was, I did Monterey Jack, you know, the little Australian guy. Go to have some cheese. Cheese. All right, Chipper, let's go. You know, that kind of stuff. But there was a little cat called Metz, and he just was pathetic looking. You know, he looked like every flea in the world had grabbed onto him. And he was kind of slow and really stupid. And I made him talk really slow because he looked like a slow kind of dude. And his voice would go something like, oh, I don't want to go there. And then he'd talk real fast like this, and then he'd slow down. It was like a flea got a hold of him, you know what I mean? Anyway, characters like that would come up through invention based upon the look, but I think that pretty much answers your question, I hope. It certainly did mine. I've been confused for years. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Ladies first.
Do you ever become attached to characters? Do you have favorites? All that aside,
I must admit, I got very attached to the Optimus Prime character. I thought he was a good role for youth, and actually for anybody really. He had honor and integrity and values and courage and strength, and sensitivity, and at the same time he could kick ass. He was a cowboy. And I do love humor. I love doing humor. But that's not here, so that's Disney and them. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yes, I've noticed you've done narration announcement for Star Wars, which was shown on TV. I was going to ask you, this might be a little bit off the subject, but if George Lucas were ever to offer you a voice part, like such as in the 3 Star Wars prequels, or in the NPR version of the Star Wars National Radio dramatization, would you ever consider doing that?
Yes, okay. Definitely. Yes, sir.
Were you ever approached to do a voice for the Beast Wars series when they were starting that up?
No, they went to Canada, I think, for most of that. Yeah, they went to Canada. Yes, sir.
When you were reading, let's say a conversation with Optimus, did you do that straight through or?
Sometimes. Sometimes I would talk to myself, yeah. Which wasn't unusual. Yeah, they would put the characters sometimes really close together like that. And sometimes I'd nail it, and sometimes I'd have to stop and, I think I got a little Prime in there, Ironhide. Or Ironhide had a little Prime, yeah. Yeah, we get lucky sometimes. Yes, sir.
How did you originally get into the whole voice acting thing?
Well, as a kid, I impersonated every teacher. Every animal on the farm. I could do horses, cows, calves, ducks, dogs, cats. I could do them intermingled. I could talk to them. I could have them fighting. I could just do it all. I entertained a lot of my friends. And eventually just decided that when I got out of high school that I would become an actor. And I studied with the National Theater. It was a far stretch from doing sound, so I ended up doing Shakespeare for 3 years. Then I got into radio and I discovered, this is fun. That can be anything. So behind those closed doors, I guess voice started taking over. Yes, ma'am.
After doing Optimus Prime for a while, were you given any input into the script or the way that Prime might react in certain episodes?
No, not really, but at the beginning, I think it was well respected that the character was within the confines of what they had originated. And as I made my own interpretations and my own input into it, they started writing in that genre. I would change a lot of things to suit him. I would say, I don't think he would say that. Yes. My career basically right now is for feature film narration. I just do trailers that you see in the movie theater, or the TV ads for them. And you might hear a little Optimus Prime in them sometimes. Air Force One, absolute power, Batman and Robin. Yes. It is an instrument, and like any instrument, it requires work, like the piano or a violin or any instrument for that matter, harmonica. But some of it's good and some of it's bad for you. I mean, if you get into voices, it's unlikely that you'll end up as an opera singer. You know, when you stupid sounds. You know, you just get it wear on you after a while. But if you work it properly, you know, and you stay within the confines so that you can still keep on singing, but it's not good to do things like stuff like that's not good. There's no future in it. Yes, sir. No, we all did it together. Oh yeah, sure, all of them. Yeah. Oh yeah, Frank is. I'm sorry Frank couldn't get here, and he was looking forward to it. We were going to have some fun. I went to Nevada on a roundup, and when I got back, I found out a couple of days afterwards that he wasn't coming. I was really disappointed because Frank is a lot funnier than I am. Yes, sir.
How did you feel about Optimus Prime being left by himself? Think that was a good idea or a bad idea?
What do you think?
Well, I thought, you know, it's got this road and stuff, and yeah, I thought it was not really promising to take over.
That's probably a good answer. And I don't really know. I know he served his purpose for a while, and move on. But you guys seem to remember him, which is nice. Oh, Tom, you're making me sick. I'm sorry. Well, I have questions. How old are you? Where are you from?
Sydney.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Germany.
Are you from everywhere? I mean, this is not just Rochester. Wow. Man. Well, I'd like to ask a question just for myself because the first question I answered was shock. Yeah, I am shocked. What did you love about the original Transformers? What would be a good word? Okay, no more questions, Your Honor. Well, there's a, yes?
They broaden our minds.
They what?
Broaden our minds through imagination.
Good.
We are able to interpret a lot of things ourselves, too.
Yeah, like old-time radio for me when I was a kid. That's true.
They enhance the toys.
Yeah. Toys.
Not to sell them, but you play with them and stuff.
Yeah, I still have my truck. I think I'll pull over, I'm tired. Yes, sir.
Well, the other great thing about Transformers is that it was one of the first really well-written science fiction shows geared for children. I mean, previously science fiction was always geared towards adults. This was a children's show. It was really well-written, and
It was.
It had a great science fiction universe behind it.
Who are these guys that came up with all these characters? I mean, come on. I looked at these stuff and I said, and endless sheets of paper with the characters and their description and their look. I said, geez, whoa, what's this guy on? Vitamin D, yeah, right, wow. Holy crow, you know, I mean, and then to even imagine that they all came apart and assembled together. I would watch kids, I guess in the 80s, putting these things together. I still have my truck, I don't know how to put it together. I mean, it's broken. Yeah, the door broke off and it's so thin. From Arthur, I'm afraid it's a gonna. It's over my head too. Yes, sir.
You're just sort of hinting at like how much
writing had gone into these stories, did it seem that that the writers had put a lot of effort into making it a decent science fiction show with a lot of background and like extra that wasn't put into the show?
Well, I think I understand your question, but I think Hollywood is Hollywood, and the imagination in Hollywood is incredible. The writers are incredible. They're hardworking, tough-working people, and not too many of them survive. Artists, I think, have a tough go too. But when you seem to have the very best that go to Hollywood where the opportunities lie, but I think that answers your question. It's a melting pot for the best out there. Yes, sir.
Was there a favorite episode or one that you had more fun than the others, or a scene from a movie that you had more fun?
We did so many, and I can't remember really. I can't remember. I know that I had a lot of difficulty with some of the shows because the director would force us into a situation where we would have to do all the background noises as well. And he would call it level A, B, and C. And the first level would be, you know, just a bunch of guys going, "Oh, yeah, come on, get us sick button, man." And you do one, that's okay. Now you do your other character. Okay, level B. No, they go on 15 minutes. You're going. Okay, now higher and louder. Okay, level B, higher. I mean, it went on, and it was torturous. And this guy particularly was a real fan for all this background stuff. Then they put it through a computer and did all the things that they did. And when you saw it, you'd say, "Yeah, I can live with it." It was worth it. Other than that, I can't remember a thing. I move and forget. Yes, sir.
You used to watch the episodes that were
Some. My son is older now, but we used to watch them together, and my daughter. But they're both older now, in college, and of course I'm dead. Yes.
In an average episode, how many minutes would you say were edited out of what the work you had actually done?
Not very much. Rare. I think you were looking at 22 minutes per episode with commercials. And it would take us anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours to do it. And I think they used every cough, every scream, everything they could get out of us in that period of time. Yeah. Except for the curse words, of course. Yes.
Any chance we can get tapes with the curse word?
Well, if you have a little tape recorder, I'll give you a few on that. But I won't go out of my way. Yes.
What was it like working with Robert Stack and Judd Nelson and Orson Welles during the motion picture?
I didn't work with any of them. They taped them independent, away from us.
Really? Optimus Prime's death scene, he passed the Matrix to Ultramantis.
Yeah, they do a lot of silly stuff in Hollywood. They do it with mirrors. And yeah, no, I wasn't there. Yes.
I noticed like a shocking resemblance between Optimus Prime's voice and John Wayne. Did you base it on John Wayne?
It's in my register, and I didn't do his cadence, but I used his register. And oddly enough, there was some, Robert Stack got the job in the movie as a result of me opening my big mouth one time, saying Robert Stack had a pretty good sound in that area, and I did. You're out. Bob, come on in here. Well, John Wayne talks like this. Okay, mister. I'm not taking any more no's for an answer. You come up with it, or you're hitting the dirt. Now, there's a little John Wayne in there. And then there's some Optimus Prime in there, too. So you caught me. Yes, sir.
You were
doing work for some computer games, like the next Warcraft one?
I just finished one, and I don't know what they're calling it now, but it was for computer, and they wanted Optimus Prime, and of course they didn't call him that, but saying that he's dead, I said, hell, it's just me, and so I gave it that, and it's on a computer game now. Do you remember the name of it?
It's Warcraft, probably Warcraft 2. It's one of the Warcraft. Envision one isn't out.
It's interactive, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the one, yeah. Oh, I've got a great memory. Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What was the difference in direction from the television show and the movie? Was the directors be pushing in a different direction or moving?
No, not really. When a group of actors get together and they do a script, they're hired for their ability to just do it right away. And if there are any technical things that the director has in mind, he'll say, can you do that louder because we've got explosions over here going to be happening and I want that to have a little more input. That may not be in the script. But generally speaking, when you look at it, the director opens the mic and we do takes. And there's very little direction. It's up to the actor. Yes, sir.
Could you say Autobots transform and roll out?
This is a stretch. Autobots transform. Roll out. Well, yes, sir.
When they killed off Prime in the movie, did they have planned in advance to bring him back, or did they just bring him back later in the series because so many people got upset about his death?
I think the latter may be true. Just based upon what I'm seeing here right now, I know that there must be a pretty good interest in that character, although I never received any mail. Well, it would all go to them, but they showed no particular interest in relaying any of the successes to the talent. We really virtually don't see very much of anything except, a continuing decline in residuals as the show progresses. So when now it's playing, I think we get $3.10 a show, if we're lucky. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Or was I bawling? Yeah. I can't hear you. Leaking lubricant? Ironhide. Why, you leaking lubricant. Get out of my sight before you... Man, I want to kick some butt. What? Jeez. Oil puddle. Yes, sir.
Frank Welker, is that you remember?
No.
You guys are perfect the first time through.
Yeah, well, no. Listen, there were very few girls in the studio. It was a pretty raunchy bunch of guys. We did change the script a few times. Brown, what are you going to do with that? None of your business. There are a few moments like that. Of course, Frank Welker, I mean, he could make a room laugh, just breathing. And it was a fun session. They were all fun. They were fun to do. I miss them. Yes, sir.
I was wondering, what do you think? What are your opinions on the new Optimus for the Beast Wars series?
Well, I got to be very honest with you. I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. I live on a ranch and I don't watch very much TV. I got a lot of horses and cattle. Trying to be diplomatic. No, I haven't seen it. That's quite honest. I haven't. I hear it's great though. Yes, ma'am.
There's a little scene in one of the episodes of Search for Albatross. Director going for it there.
Perhaps my reply would be as vague as the director's. I can't answer that. It's coming back to me. I'll tell you later. Well, if there are no further questions, we'll go to the library, and I'd like to, show you some of my Roy Rogers tapes. There is a question. Go ahead.
If given the opportunity, would you play Optimus again?
Sure. Sure, he's fun. Today, I guess in a new age of declining values and stuff, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I kind of think he's pretty good. I think we need to. There's a new form of Decepticons out there, and I think it's deception itself on a moral level. And I like the idea of Optimus Prime fighting for something that is deceptive. Yes, sir.
How do you like the role of playing an alligator?
An alligator? Yeah, an alligator. What would he sound like, then? I don't know. Let's see, where is he from? He's from the South. Okay. Well, hell, make him talk like this, and then he's got a lot of teeth, so maybe he talk like this. So it's probably got a big tongue, and he's from the South. Son of a gun! So I'm narrowing in on him. And then maybe I make him talk like this because he's probably lost some teeth. And now he's starting to sound like Frankie Fontaine. Maybe we ought to do that. Yes, sir.
Between the cartoons, movie narration, and commercials, and all the other things, which was your most favorite? Which one do you like the most?
Oh boy. Gosh. I like the jobs that were easy. Like the Predator. That was easy. And Prime was just talking. And the other ones were tough, And I'm basically pretty lazy. I'd rather be with the animals. So I'd say Prime. Any of your, yeah. Yes, sir.
You talked a lot about what it was like working with Frank Welker and you guys head up. What was it like working with Susan Blue? I know she does a lot of work.
Sue's great talent and very beautiful girl, very beautiful lady. It was always fun working with Sue. She's got a tremendous voice. We did a lot of work together in Hanna-Barbera and other shows. And she's got the greatest voice. She's a director now. She does mostly directing. She's a good director too. Yeah.
You work exclusively in voice acting, or did you ever have any on-screen appearances?
I did mostly on camera until I made a career decision as to just go behind the scenes and do voiceover. But if you ever watch TV Land, the Sonny and Cher show, this is Peter Cullen speaking. You'll see me on the show, every show, doing comedy. Yes?
Speaking of on-screen work, I know Michael Bell was in an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
The first one, exactly. Do you know any of the other voice actors within Star Trek network? I know everybody in the probably was.
Well, in the Transformers, a lot of guys have gone on to make motion picture, serious motion picture work. I think, I can't remember a lot of the guys right now, but look at the credits and you'll see a lot of guys that are in feature films now with major starring roles. Yes?
Have you ever been given a script for Transformers and looked at it and think that this is really absurd?
Yes. I did it anyway. Or else. You know. Get somebody else. You know. I'm sorry I'm not doing this script. I'm not reading this line. All right, so see you later. Yes.
What was Chris Ladd like? He's recently passed away. I mean, I would never have that opportunity to meet him.
Chris was out there. He was a talented guy with a lot of energy. And God bless him, you know. Hollywood can, there's an old line about Hollywood that Johnny Carson came up with once and said, Hollywood is the only town in the world that devours its young. And he was a victim. Sad. Jeez. Get something cheery. Yes.
So when you're not doing voice work, what do you like to do in your spare time when you're happy?
I like to rodeo. I'm a roper, steer roper. Yes.
Do you have any musical talent?
I play the piano by ear, the guitar by ear, and the water faucet by ear.
Any vocal talent? Any singing?
Yes, I do. I've done some lounge lizard singing. Old standards like It Could Happen to You, the old romantic ballad stuff. Yes, sir. Either or. Yes, ma'am.
Can you sing something like Optimus?
Lock your dreams at night. Hide your heart from the sight. It could happen to you. Listen, without getting emotional, I'd just like to extend my deep appreciation and thanks to how you've treated me. And I'm overwhelmed by this, and quite frankly, you've made a big difference in my life. I never expected any of this. And it's made me, quite frankly, feel very, very warm inside. And for that, I'm very grateful to all of you. Thanks a lot.
Well, we're going to move this table real quick, and then Peter, if he does, you want to stay here, or do you want to move the table down? Which is easier for you? Got it. Okay, so we're going to, in like 5 minutes, we're going to start the autograph line, okay? So why don't we start having a line forming here? Please, let's see how we're going to do this. What I would try to do is try to loop it as much around that way as possible, okay? We don't want to just pell-mell with people. Please don't push, and we're trying our best here, so.
Cypher.
Joe, shake the stuff, please, Joe.